Hello everyone. Today, this is the Holiday Christmas Fan. You all now know what I thought of It Chapter 2. And I want to say something. You know what? The fact that this movie did not do as good as the first one, I still think they should do a third movie because they're making themselves look very bad in front of all of our in front of all of us. Like Andy Muschietti, what they did with It Chapter 2 was disappointing. It was a good movie, but I don't I don't know if I'm even gonna buy it on Blu-ray. Like I'm that disappointed. But if they do an It Chapter 3, I don't want them to follow the book because it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And if they're going to do an It Chapter 3, and I know a lot of you guys are saying they're not going to do it, but here's why I'm saying they need to do it. As an It fan, I am pretty disappointed because this was my most highly anticipated movie of the year, and they came up with this for It Chapter 2. Let's wait until almost the end of the movie to show Pennywise. Let's make the final battle very cheesy and cool, but we can't do anything else with it. Like they tried as hard as they could to make the final battle good. No, the final battle is good, but it's okay. And like It Chapter 2, I just don't know what to say. Like it's a huge bummer. And I think a lot of you guys agree with me. Like I don't even know what to say. I'm shocked that It Chapter 2 was not as good as the first one, not even close. And I was expecting to walk into It Chapter 3 and be amazed what they did. The old lady scene was kind of disappointing, honestly. Like the old lady scene, it was funny. People are laughing at it. It's supposed to be scary, and everyone's laughing at it. That's not. See, Andy Muschietti tried to make It Chapter 2 a scarier movie, and I don't think he should have. No way should he have even bothered. He should have done what they did with the first movie. Because this movie felt like a Conjuring movie that tried too hard on the scares. Now, there was a couple scares that were good, and there were some that I wasn't a fan of. But if they do an It Chapter 3, here's what they should do. Make it a prequel. And I think this would be genius. Imagine this, okay. All I'm going to say is the final confrontation, the final battle in It Chapter 2 should have been the last half of 2 hours or the last half of an hour long. The battle should have been either 2 hours long of the last parts of the movie of 2 hours, or the last parts of the movie of 1 hour should have been the final confrontation. Number 2, the movie should have been focused on Pennywise. We do not get to see a lot of Pennywise. And you know what? If they're going to make an It Chapter 3, go full tear with Pennywise. If they're going to do a third movie, this is what they should do. Okay. If the adults are not coming back in It Chapter 3, Bill Hader, all of them, they're like 71 years old or whatever. They all die from something, from some kind of disease, or they just have some kind of problem. They die. Then, new kids that knew about the creature, knew this whole time what has been going on, right? You know, they get together. They would start to hear weird things, see weird things, and all of a sudden, they would get together, and the kids would be these would be brand new kid actors. They would have brand new names. It wouldn't be Mike. It wouldn't be Stan. That wouldn't be the names. They'd be like Tom, Evan, Larry, like different names, you know what I mean? And basically, 27 years later, brand new kids find out. They would be related to one of the adult actors that were in chapter 2, Bill. Bill told this guy that was related to him, "Oh, this happened to me before he died." He told them it's back. And then at Beverly, and then they do the same thing with their relatives, their people, family member, kids that they're related to, grandson or granddaughter. Basically, they get back together. Pennywise finds out, oh, these kids are coming after me. They almost defeated me when they were kids. I know how to defeat a kid now. And here's the thing, Pennywise should be mainly focused in this movie. It should be about Pennywise. Most of the movie should be Pennywise. Just Pennywise. Sometimes he shapeshifts into things, but mostly Pennywise. More Pennywise than we ever seen in the movie. The movie would be 3 hours again. 3 hours and 2 minutes, or 3 hours and 1 minute. And what else? Basically, Pennywise, I felt like the movie was too slow. I felt like I actually liked the fast paced in It Chapter 1 more. It would be the same thing here. Pennywise, scene after scene after scene, would be going after these guys. If I was a director, I would have Pennywise going after these guys almost in every scene, almost in every single scene after he finds out what happened. And each scene would be something new. It wouldn't be the same thing. The intensity would be more intense than ever. The buildup of the scares would be amazing. Just everything would be fast paced like the first movie. The final battle, it wouldn't just take place in the sewers, it'd be outside. In the book, spoiler alert, I was expecting to go into It Chapter 2. Because in the book, everything that they were afraid of, the adults, the spider, the zombie affected thing, the painted lady, and the werewolf, like all of that stuff, the kids start to see them things come to life because Pennywise knows that they were talking to the adults, telling them what they saw and all that, and then the kids start seeing it because Pennywise uses it on the new kids as a new losers club. Then the final battle should be either they be kids or adults or teenagers. I would say teenagers. Let's just say that we never had a teenager. Well, we did, but we never had like a high school age. Like when they were kids in the first one, they were in junior high. Well, I want to see a high school, so we would do a high school. If that was in the first movie, do it again. Have them when they're like 19 or 18. They go to Bill or Mike, like they're relatives, and they tell them what happened, what they saw. Tell them you guys are gonna go after this creature, stop it once and for all. Basically, the final battle in the book is everything that they were scared of. It's Pennywise. It's a big giant Pennywise with all the monsters attached to him. The spider, the zombie infected thing, the painting lady, the burning hands that are coming out of the door, the werewolf, the old lady witch hag thing. Like, all of that would be combined into one monster. And I don't know why they didn't do this in It Chapter 2, because it would have been amazing. Like, could you imagine the old lady face, right? With the clown makeup, like what Bill Skarsgård's face combined with that, you know, it would be nuts. And basically, the battle would start. It'd be nuts. Like it'd be the best part of the movie. Like, if I was the director, if I was Andy Muschietti, I would be making this final fight as crazy as I could possibly make it, and as terrifying as I could possibly make it at the same time. There would be a lot of blood involved with it, a lot of fighting with the clown, a lot of the creature chasing them. Then they'd be going out of the sewer, and the creature would be just blowing up all the halls filled with water, and they're trying to run through it, and he's just breaking everything. And then they get out of the sewers, and then the creature just blows up the freaking sewers because he's huge, right? Starts taking place outside. The creature can't find them, so they would go somewhere saying everyone would be able to see this creature, because that's how I would do it. Everyone in town would be able to see the creature. The new kids, as a new losers club, they would tell them, "You see that thing out there?" The guy would look out the window in the store. Holy F-U-C-K, that's what he would say. And then the kids would say, "We need a gun or something. We need a gun. We need something." These teenagers would be getting guns, trying to take down this thing. And all of a sudden, the creature would do like this big slam and like crack the ground in half, and it would like split apart, and it'd be nuts. Like, I mean, the whole town would be exploding. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just to make a funny comedy moment, the 70-year-old versions of Bill, if they even come back, if it's possible, then they frickin' would tell them to get the car. We're loaded with weapons. And they start driving, the creature starts chasing the car, and the kids are out looking out the window, aiming the stuff and shooting it at it, not doing anything. Then the Pennywise monster thing starts blowing up all the buildings, freaking everything just starts blowing up. All of a sudden, he gets a hold of the car and throws it. The one driving would be Bill. Bill gets a concussion, so one of the other adults have to take Bill out of the driver's seat, put him in the back with the kids. Then Eddie would be driving the freaking car. And you know how Richie is. Rah, 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 crazy. And like, basically, kids would pass him one of the guns or something, and Eddie would just be doing his silly old trying to be smart, aiming the gun and not even looking, bang, bang, aiming at the wall or something, not even aiming at the creature. Then the kid swears and says, "Give me the F-U-C-K gun." I-N-G, I meant. The effing gun. And kid gets Pennywise in the eye, can't see out of one eye, starts bleeding everywhere. So they're still running, the creature's just still blowing up everything. Throwing stuff at the car flips, lands perfectly somehow, and then they, what else could it do? They'd be in town just freaking trying to kill it, right? Then the car would flip over. They would have like weapons on them, man, like grenades, freaking crazy stuff, like grenades, rocket launchers. That'd be not a rocket launcher, but a grenade and stuff. and the cops would be chasing this thing trying to kill it. Then Pennywise gets a hold of the car again, flips it over again. They get out of the car. The creature falls to the ground thinking it's over. They go to the cops, and all of a sudden it comes back to life. And then the frickin' military comes and gets like a tank. This thing would be huge. I mean, massive. They would have tanks, mini guns, like all of this stuff. And they'd be taking this thing down, and there'd be like tanks everywhere. Throwing tanks, trying to kill them. What the creature will be trying to throw tanks at the Losers Club, and they'd just be running. Then they would hide and get their guns out. They're at the end of the line, they don't know what to do. So Bill comes out and remembers something. I just make it up. Remembers something that we've never been told before. Not Bill, one of the new Losers Club, let's say Troy. He can aim good with stuff. Gets his gun out, shoots Pennywise in the eye, now he's blind. All of a sudden, gets Pennywise like inside of his mouth like 3 times, starts falling, getting smaller, shoots him in the head again, gets even smaller. Then he starts growing again, and then all of a sudden, they shoot a rocket at him, and he like goes flying back, tries to get up again, and all of a sudden, they shoot, like a tank comes along, boom, blows the damn thing up, and it's dead. As we think, and then it tries getting up once more, and then the tank shoots again, and then he dies. And everyone's cheering, clapping, happy that they killed it. It's over. That's what my idea would be for It Chapter 3. But before that final confrontation happens, the adults would tell their grandkids what they got to do. So the adults would take them to their house, meet up, and put them in a circle holding hands. The adults would be telling them what they got to do to kill it. And all that. Be prepared. And they would be. Because what they tried in Chapter 2 was the ritual of Chud, or whatever it's called. That didn't work, so they got to do something else. So, yeah, I think it'd be something like that. Then the kids would be walking around in town talking to each other. You know what? We got to figure something out, because this can't be happening anymore. Our uncles or aunts, our uncle, your uncle or my uncle or your aunt Beverly could have died, and they didn't. They thought they defeated it, and they didn't. They tried everything they got, or did they? You know what I mean? So it would go down something like that, and I think It Chapter 3 is a possibility. And I think It Chapter 3, if it does happen, I really hope they do as best as they can, because It Chapter 2 was good, but it wasn't great. It didn't succeed my expectations. There's a point in the movie of It Chapter 2, I was getting bored. I was getting bored through the movie. Like, the old lady scene was not that, like, it was not good in my opinion. Like, she looked cool, not scary. And the problem is, when she starts running, there's no scary, intense music when she's like trying to attack Beverly. She just like stands there and talking to her like, and has like two mouths on her neck, and it's like, what am I watching? Like, the old lady was, they, all I can say to you guys is it was huge. It was a big disappointment for me. And I think a lot of you guys understand because a lot of us thought, oh, it's going to feel like the first movie. I did not think It Chapter 2 felt like the first movie. It felt like it felt like it was trying to be too scary, and it was trying so hard it was funny. And I wish the director did not make this movie scarier, because the less the scarier. The less you put into your scares, the scarier it's going to be. That's how it works. That's why the first movie had scary moments. There's moments in the first movie that actually were terrifying because there was less in the build up, less in the special, not the special effects, the less, like the old lady. Was it necessary to have two freaking mouths on her throat talking? No. Was it necessary to have her just standing there staring at Beverly trying to scare her by talking at her? No. It was not what I wanted. You know, it did not succeed very well. I don't know if I'm buying this movie on Blu-ray. I might. I probably will. And I hope when I buy it, I like it more than I did when I did in theaters. Because I'm telling you, when I see, the problem is when I saw the movie, I was basically begging myself to like it more than the first one when I came out of the theater. I didn't want to say to them in front of my uncle or my sister, I didn't like it as much as the first one. I didn't want to say that in front of them because that might disappoint them. You know, I don't want to say that. So I wait until now because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I got some cool stuff from the theater. And first of all, I got this from the theater. I got the It Chapter 2 popcorn combo. And I'm never using this. This is a collectible. It's actually kind of cool. I like it. Very cool. Very, very cool. Now this thing I got one of the cups. And let me tell you, this is probably the best cup you can get. And I got this one. I got the Pennywise on top. But yeah. The movie was, It Chapter 2 was good. It wasn't great. And that's why I'm sitting here today saying why It Chapter 3 is possible. And I really think why It Chapter 2 wasn't good is because Andy Muschietti had a lot of pressure on him because fans were saying, oh, we want It Chapter 2 to be scarier. Oh, it wasn't scary enough, the first one, so we didn't like it. That doesn't mean it's bad because it's not scary. The first one had some really scary parts, I'm not gonna lie. Chapter 2 did not. So, yeah. If you liked my idea for It Chapter 3, let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys think It Chapter 3 is possible? Because I certainly think It Chapter 3 is possible, and there was already in talks of a third movie. And I really hope that they do a third movie, because what they did with Chapter 3 did not float for me at all. You know, there were some good parts. The funhouse was good. Like, there's something about here's the problem. The funhouse scene was good, wasn't great. Literally, there was the funhouse scene was good, but it wasn't great. It tries to be scary, and it tries too hard, and I don't like when horror movies try doing this because it's not professional at all. Like, The Conjuring is doing this now, and I don't like why they're doing this. Wasn't a whole lot of jump scares, which I'm happy about. But the way the scares are done in this movie are nowhere as good as the first movie where the scares work in that one. Andy Muschietti had pressure going on him for sure, and I think people just need to stop. Like, Andy Muschietti, I think it was also the adult actors. I don't think he really focused on the fan service. I really don't think he did. So, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think It Chapter 2 is a possibility. I certainly think they could do a third movie for sure. There's no doubt in that. They could easily pull off a third movie and make it the best one out of the series. So anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in another horrifying video.